Max and the Spelling Surprise. Max stared outside at the window. He sighed as he saw how the sun shone so brightly on his window. It looked like a perfect day to be outside, but here he was, stuck at home, learning his spelling. After Mrs. Smith had sent a note about Max and his spelling score from last week, his mother had told him that if he didn't learn his spelling this week, he wouldn't go to James' birthday party. James was Max's best friend, so Max told his mother that he had to go to his best friend's party because that's what best friends do. But Max's mother just wouldn't understand. So Max agreed that he would spend 30 minutes every day learning his spellings, even though he didn't want to, which is why he was stuck in his bedroom trying to find excuses to not learn his spellings. Max was proud of himself as he stared at his page filled with excuses about not learning his spellings. But now he just had to make sure these excuses would work on Mrs. Smith. Mrs. Smith was one of those teachers that gave you pop quizzes on the first day of school as a fun activity. She was incredibly scary and wouldn't be afraid to unleash her secret weapon, phoning his parents. Max shuddered at the thought. If his mother found out about him not learning his spellings and making up an excuse, Max would surely be in double trouble, which meant he would definitely not be allowed to go to James' birthday party at all. So Max had to make sure these excuses wouldn't get him in trouble with Mrs. Smith. His first excuse was telling his teacher that he had to watch the new Mega Blast movie about the new superhero twins who had teleportation powers. But this probably wouldn't work because Mrs. Smith is really boring and doesn't know the importance of superhero movies, especially ones that can teleport. His second excuse was that a camel with sunglasses had come into his bedroom and asked him for a drink. But Max, being the nice and respectful person he was, had to travel around the world to get the best drink, which meant he didn't have time to do his homework. But this probably wouldn't work because Mrs. Smith doesn't believe camels can talk, even though they totally can. And she won't believe that Max traveled the whole world just on a Saturday morning. His third excuse was that he lost his spelling sheet when he was coming home because of the wind. This excuse would definitely not work because the spellings were also sent online. It was sunny the whole week and Max had used that excuse 2 weeks ago. Max sighed. This was hopeless, and it had only been 5 minutes. Well, maybe he should actually begin. Max opened the door to see his older sister Carla at the door. "Hey, Em," she said. "Dad wanted me to ask you if you're coming to watch the Mega Blast superhero movie with us." Max stared at her, and then the spelling sheet. This kept on going on until... "Hello, Max. I don't have all day. I have to paint my nails before we leave and try on my brand new cashmere coat. I think it's like a size small or something," she muttered. Max looked at her and said, "Sorry, Carla, but I've got to practice my spellings or else I'm not going to James' birthday party, according to Mum." Carla looked at him sympathetically. "Ouch! That sounds harsh. I'll tell you all about it when I get home and spare you a few popcorn pieces, but for now, toodles and have fun." Even though Carla was disappointed, she knew that learning spellings was important. Max sighed. If anything, he would not be having any fun. As his sister rushed out, Max stared at the spellings. Okay, the first word is clunk, clunk, clunk. The sounds of hooves on his bedroom floor shocked him as he stared up to reveal a camel with glasses. This sounded oddly familiar, but Max couldn't put his finger on it. "Hello, young man," the camel said. "I was crossing your neighborhood after I had picked up a nice batch of freshly crisped potato wedges, sprinkled with salt and garnished with oil, until I became completely parched, and was wondering whether you would provide me with your amazing service and provide as a great host." Max stared at him, trying to take in everything that was just said. After 2 minutes, he cleared his throat and said, "So basically, you mean you went to Flo's Fries around the corner and got yourself a pack of extra fattening chips and are now thirsty and want me to give you a drink?" "Well, if that's how you humans say it, then yes," he replied. "We can travel around the world and find the most luxurious drink for me." "Sorry, Mr. Camel, but no can do," Max replied. "Usually I would totally agree, because if I'm being honest, your suggestion is awesome. But I've got to learn my spelling, so I won't be going to my best friend's party at all." The camel looked at him in sympathy like Carla and said, "Oh, child, that sounds absolutely horrendous. Well, I will be setting off, and, good luck." Even though the camel was quite upset, he knew that learning your spellings was important. As the camel trotted away in search of another person to travel around the world with him for a drink, Max fished his excuses list from the pile of paper on the floor and searched the list for anything about camels. "Aha!" he thought to himself as he found the camel excuse on the page. It was exactly how he described it. Now, if only he had taken a photo. He looked lower down the list to see the excuse about the wind. Oh no! A huge gust of wind came in, blowing away the pieces of spellings only. Max stared at the paper that was being blown away. "Wait!" he shouted. "I need that sheet or else I won't go to James' birthday party." The wind stopped. It was probably giving Max a sympathetic look like everyone else had. The wind whooshed an apology and left. Even winds knew that spelling were important. Max was stumped. It had been so long and he still hadn't learned a single thing. He was also upset because he missed out on great stuff, like watching the movie with Carla and Dad, traveling the world with a camel for a drink, and having the wind actually blow away his homework and him. "Max, what's happening here?" Max's mother asked as she walked into the room. I'm practicing, Mom," he said as he showed her the spelling paper in his hands. "Oh, okay, great. Well, it's been 30 minutes. You can do whatever you want now," she said with a smile on her face. Max silently cheered and left the room to get changed for the party. "Oh, sorry, Max, but I forgot to tell you. James cancelled his party because he's slightly sick." "Sorry?" Max stared. He really wished the wind blew him away now. Thank you for reading this story with me. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you and goodbye.